Hi, I'm Bill Hodges, and we're about to tape a Sun City Center Community Association board meeting. Now, this meeting will be quite long, so the potential is that it will be more than one part. So when you watch it, look and see whether it's a part 2 or not. This will be designated at the beginning of each. It could even go into part 3. So if you would, please sit back and enjoy. This is a production of Hodges Videos. It is not a production of the CA Board, nor have they any opportunity to edit any materials. This is a gavel-to-gavel production. Any place that I've had to stop the tape, you'll see that, and we'll make a note of it, but all of the comments will be on one of the sections of this tape. Enjoy, and be a part of the Sun City Community Association, because being a part gives us good government and a good association. Enjoy.
For the Pledge of Allegiance, Mr. Messick, would you like to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. Welcome to the Board of Directors formal meeting for the 11th of March. We'll start this off with the Secretary's report. Mr. Shing.
Mr. President, in front of the directors are the minutes of the board meeting held on February 11, 2009. Are there any additions, deletions, or changes? If not, Mr. President, I make a motion that we approve the minutes of February 11, 2009.
All the directors for?
Aye.
Second.
We need a second. Who's
Second.
Okay. Everybody at for?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Okay.
Mr. President, we have the following acknowledgements. Softball Club paid the Community Association $1,800 as their share of maintaining the softball field in 2008. The Unity Community of Joy donated $200 to the Operation Fund. The Square Dance Club donated $300 to the Renovation Fund designated for the Community Hall. And Dale's Designs donated a new sign for the mail slot outside the CA office building. That's the end of the acknowledgments, Mr. President. For the record, the Board of Directors in an action without a meeting on February the 20th, 2009, approved a contract with Wells Tennis Courts to resurface the tennis courts number 1, 2, 3, and 4 at a cost of $10,400. This will be expensed from the Replacement Reserve Fund, account 76201. The last thing I have, Mr. President, is that action by written consent in lieu of a meeting of the Board of Directors of the Sun City Center Community Association. This action by consent approved the contracts with Welsh Tennis Courts for resurfacing courts 1, 2, 3, and 4. Mr. President, that's the balance of my report.
Okay, thank you, Director Shing. Today, as you might notice, we have, as we did last week, we are video recording this session today. We have Mr. Hodges has put this session out on YouTube, and so for all members of the community to be able to see what's going on today. So when we start discussions later on, we've set microphones up on each side of the building, and if you have something to say, I ask that you go to that microphone and present your comments. If you're able to, we'll move the microphone over to you. So what we want to do is be able to get the people's faces on the video that have something to say for this session. Now, in my report this morning, I have a number of topics to discuss with you today, so I'll be as brief as I possibly can. At the last board meeting, several issues were raised by one of our members concerning the age waiver process. The specific issues raised were, first, that a special board meeting should be provided a 1-week notice, and that notice should be done via email, newsletter, website, CA news phone, as well as on bulletin boards. Today, we just do it on bulletin boards. The CA should not give any, the second issue was the CA should not give any age waivers to anyone and not make any exceptions for renters. The whole board needs to review the legitimacy of every request, and no waivers should be issued on rental property. The third issue raised that in areas without a homeowners association, the CA staff routinely hands out waivers based on one corporate officer checking the occupied house listings. Now, my response to these issues are as follows. In the first issue, as far as a period of notice is concerned, a minimum 2-day notice for directors for special board meetings is required to provide the board the capability to respond to emergency situations. A 2-day notice to the board of directors, conforms to Florida Statute 617.0822. In the future, though, special board meetings notices will be posted not only on our bulletin boards, but the CA website, the CA Newsline, John Bowker's email services, other email services that we might provide, as well as we'll provide notification to the Sun City Center Free Press to run in their articles. Now, the second issue that was resolved was the CA should not give any waivers. Review and approval of waivers is the job of the president and the corporate secretary. There are many reasons for granting age waivers to homeowners under the age 55. There are many desirable actions that warrant those kind of approvals. A no waiver policy does not give the board the flexibility to address unusual circumstances which might arise. It is the board's policy that no waivers for renters under the age of 55. However, as we did in January, a board can take exception to the policy if approved by the majority of board members. The third issue, which involved staff approval of waivers, I have this to say about that. 2 corporate office signatures are required for all age waivers. The CA staff generates a request which is forwarded to the corporate secretary for review and verification, and then it's forwarded to the president for approval. In areas with a homeowners association, the homeowner association first must approve any age waivers. In areas without homeowners associations, the CA staff checks the age distribution in the unit as well as the age distribution in the CA as a whole. The staff does not approve any waivers whatsoever. They only initiate the waivers. Since January of 2009, 2 age waivers have been approved. One was from an area with a homeowners association, and one was for a renter who was not in a unit with a homeowners association. This was the latter waiver was approved at a special board meeting in January of 2009. Now, the waiver process is taken very seriously, and to ensure that the requirements of age waivers are well disseminated, we're in the process of developing a handout for the Information Center, which can be used as a guide for people inquiring about living and or renting property in Sun City Center. We also plan to give this document to real estate agents, who oftentimes do not understand our age waiver and our age waiver requirements. Okay, now that's enough about age waivers. The second topic involves the golf courses. The individual golf course task force committees have been continuing to meet this past month. Last week we had a team meeting with the 3 subcommittees and assess the progress of the task force. The task force is moving along to complete their work by the end of this month. We have sent a letter to WCI requesting a marking plan for enhancing play on the north and south courses based on a couple of different potential options. One option was to expand the area of the authorized users to encompass the area defined by the Greater Sun City Center community plan, and the second was an expansion of the use to include some agreed upon cap for outside play at those courses. Now, we expect a response from WCI in the next week or so. The subcommittee is studying the potential benefits that could be obtained from WCI in return for expanding the use of the north and south courses, including the WCI providing operational consistency across the courses, grounds maintained of the same standard, better collaboration with the players and players' leagues. It should be noted that at the time the 1984 agreement was put in place, the volume of play on the north and south courses exceeded the Sun City Center residents' demand substantially. There were more players than tee times. That agreement was structured to give the Sun City Center residents the playing time that they wanted on the golf courses. Now, You roll that clock forward in 2009, the Sun City Center population has grown. However, due to economics and the aging of a relatively static population, the demand by our members for golf has fallen. Decline in play by the residents has negatively impacted the physical viability of the north and south courses and will continue to do so unless we find some mutually agreeable means to expand play on both of those courses. If left to a strictly business decision, WCI will close the north course. Today, that course has only a 32% utilization. 2/3 of the time it's not used. So if we don't want the north course to be turned into a weed patch, we the golf task force, as well as the community association, must find some way to expand that play. Now, that's the focus of the golf task force, and that's what we hope to accomplish in the next few weeks as working on this task force. The third major topic I have to talk to you about is the hospital, and I owe you an update on the hospital situation, even though there's not much to report. The most recent administrative judge's review of the St. Joe's appeal was scheduled for February of 2009. I think I told you that has been postponed until after the district court rules on the appeal of the 2005 application. That's expected late this summer, early fall. Hopefully the courts will get through that in their backlog. Now, I recently met with the new CEO of South Bay Hospital, and I am convinced that her mission here is to build a new hospital for Hospital Corporation of America. I have offered her the opportunity to come address the members of the community in an open forum at the community hall, and I hope she takes me up on that. I specifically asked her to meet with us on what she thought the future of that hospital was and what they plan to do with that hospital in the short term. If she takes me up on that offer, I certainly hope that the members turn out as well and support that meeting like they did for the October 2007. So I will have more on that for you as we go along. I certainly plan to pressure her to set up that meeting and come talk to us. She did a meeting a couple of weeks ago in Kings Point, and I understand it was a fairly good interactive meeting. So we'll see if we can't get that. The fourth major topic is the long-term plans. I've told you in recent meetings, the Director Long is working on a long-range plan for the infrastructure of Sun City Center. When this plan is completed, we will hold an open forum meetings to gather ideas and pros and cons of the plan. I expect that the end result will be of this plan will be a referendum on where we want to go with the infrastructure of Sun City Center. As you may recall, the 2004 referendum approved a $2 million capital improvements for the community campuses. That money has essentially been spent to complete some of the projects which were approved. You'll get an opportunity to refresh that direction of the 2004 when we come up with a new plan. Now, lastly, the two last quick topics for you. You'll hear more from Director LeBlanc, but Fun Fest this year will be bigger and better than ever. She has lots of plans for Fun Fest for this year. So be sure and mark your calendar for March 21st, Saturday from 9 to 3? 9 to 3 for the Fun Fest. And lastly, the Greater Sun City Community Plan has essentially been completed. The next step is to hold open house on Saturday, April 4th from 10 to 12 at the Community Hall. Everybody is certainly welcome and invited to attend to see what these people have done on the community plan. This has been an absolutely super effort by a very dedicated group of volunteer members, and I personally want to thank each and every one of them for all the work they did in getting this plan together. That concludes my report. Okay, Treasurer, Mr. Neil Rothfield.
Our operating fund at the end of February had a balance in there of $3,559,000. Naturally, it's the beginning of the year. We haven't spent our money yet. Of that, $1.6 million was in CDs, and we are in the process in March, we already have done it, of transferring a little more than $1.1 million over into CDs. We use a program for this operating fund called CDARS, which are used by a number of banks to invest the money in various CDs in the United States and stable banks. So Our CDs are not here locally, but they're all over the United States. And they all are in amounts that are insured by the FDIC. The capital fund had a balance at the end of the year. Oh, one other thing. We do have in dues receivable approximately $86,000. That amounts to approximately 350 members who have not paid their dues yet. In addition to that, we have filed liens in the amount of $24,700. In the capital fund, we have a balance at the end of February of approximately $562,000. We have projected sales in March of $18,000, that's approximately 15 homes, which would give us a balance at the end of March of approximately $580,000, more than sufficient to be used for the locker room project, which is also going to be coming out from our replacement fund. We closed on 18 homes in the month of February. We had closed on 14 homes in the month of January. So we have a total of 32 homes closed on so far versus a budget of 36 homes. The projected closing on homes that we used for the budget was approximately 18 homes a month, because we far surpassed that last year. In the replacement fund, we have a total of $1,383,000. That is after reserving $200,000 for the locker room project. In cash, we have $7,000. In the money market, $626,000. And in CDs, $950,000. As part of the replacement fund, and this was included in the total figures, but part of that is reserved for furniture and equipment. That amount is $88,000. And for the hurricane fund deductible is approximately $33,000. In the renovation fund, at the end of the month, we had a total of approximately $43,400. That is my report, Mr. President.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Treasurer. The next report is for the community manager.
Ed,
Yeah, question, sure.
to the treasurer. The 86,000 due now and the 350 members in arrears, how does that compare to a year ago, Neil?
It's approximately the same. We get our monies, I think it's even a little better, but we get our monies in normally over the first 3 months of the year, January, February, and March, with the bulk of the money coming in January and February, and then the rest of it coming in March. Last year, after March, I think the total accounts receivable was around between $26,000 and $30,000.
Any other board member questions? Okay. Community manager report, Lynn?
Thank you, Ed. Good morning. As normal, I'll touch base on some of the items that we have going on around the campuses. The fitness center litigation, we're
Wait a
waiting.
minute, Lynn, can you hear her in the back?
Can you hear me? No? Yeah, it is working. Okay, how about if I get right up on the mic?
There you go.
Fitness center litigation, we're awaiting the engineering protocols and estimates for repairs. They are running a bit behind. The company that was hired by our attorneys is the best in the state, and they are in the midst of a few litigations, so it's causing them time in court. So our protocols and estimates are lagging a little bit behind. We should be receiving them hopefully by the end of this month. Once we've received that, we can review and discuss our next step with the association's attorney. The resident count as of February 28th was 11,022. The locker room project, the TPO has reviewed the plans and approved to continue to the next phase, which is the engineering and specification phase.
I have brought a poster that I did just to sort of give you an idea of what we're looking at. These are the actual architectural drawings that will be followed, and the pictures surrounding them are what we are targeting the area to look for. We will post this in the atrium area for people to be able to see in the next week or so, and it will stay there until we start and finish the project. But it includes both the locker room area, the atrium restrooms, and the new spa. Those are not the exact pictures we're using. Those are just pictures that we've gathered through research that we would like to sort of emulate in our project. The shredding day for the membership was a huge success. We had over 200 people that came during the 3 hours, and we shred over 6,000 pounds of paper. Thank you to RBC Bank, who provided the refreshments. They brought cookies and drinks, and it worked out wonderfully. People we had a big rush at about 8:30. Of course, it started at 9, but we got the big rush before we were even supposed to start, but the truck came early, and then people just sort of trickled in all day long. I have to comment that we had one lady come with a box, and it was the oldest papers that we actually shredded. They were from 1940 that she had been keeping in her garage for all those times, and I guess she figured it was time she could let them go. But we had quite a chuckle on seeing some of those papers go through the shredder. The switchgear replacement is still in, of course, the engineering and permitting stage. As soon as the engineers have finished their plans and they've gotten them to Hillsborough County for the permits, then they will be able to start the switchgear replacement. We're hoping probably in the May timeframe for that, just before we start the locker room project. We're looking at a saline pool system. At this time for the indoor 2 pools, a lap pool, the exercise pool, and the spa. We're in the process of researching this, and it would basically turn our pools into going green. We would not have to put the harsh chemicals in them anymore. It would be a natural salt or saline system. The board is in the process of reviewing this. They have had a presentation, and I am going through some of the companies that have had it installed to see how they liked it, how they're going with it. And the TPO has actually approved it, and when it comes time to bring it to the board, they will recommend it for approval. They have gone through the system as well, and some of the TPO, or one of the TPO members has gone out and tried one of the applications already. The art club has come to the TPO to turn one of their exterior windows into a door so they can enter their club room from the Cherry Hills. That is actually on the agenda for today for the board to review for approval. Also, the basketball hoop, the TPO has reviewed for approval, and they will also be recommending this to the board today. And the community hall parking lot, I'm sure all of you have gone down to community hall and the landscaping and seen that the parking lot is in a bit demise, as well as the landscaping down there. And I am in the process of bidding out the overlay of that entire parking lot and some new trees and shrubberies to be replaced to jazz that area up. That is one of our large focal points for our community, and I feel it needs a little bit of sprucing up down there. That is my report.
Okay, thank you very much. And we move on to the next item on the agenda, which is the standing committee reports, the search committee with Director Cross.
Hello, everybody. It's so nice to see everybody here today. So many people here today. It's a shame that controversy brings you here today, but I guess that's the way the ball bounces, huh? One of my assignments this year is a search committee. You may be saying, a what? A search committee? It's kind of like a nominating committee. And it's a nominating committee for the board, and I'm searching for members who would consider running for the board of directors, willing to fill a position if an opening comes up, and lastly, members interested in serving on a committee. If this sounds like something you'd like to do, or you know someone that
would like to do it, please talk to me after the meeting. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Special Purpose Committee reports, looks like that's Director LeBlanc, our favorite topics.
Well, we're not very far away from Fun Fest right now, and you can tell it by around the campus. You're beginning to see things being knocked down or put up, and you definitely, after Monday, will see that. Now, when the Fun Fest weekend arrives, the campus will be closed on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, except the pools and lawn bowling, I believe, is still open under that time. But you'll see a lot of people bringing in the tables and the chairs and doing that. Now, fun things about this is our birthday celebration of 10 years. And we will, the Sawdust Engineers have made a birthday cake that will be probably on display out around the bandstand on Monday. And we're going to do something different. We're going to have you play a little bingo in that you have to get a coverall. And the only way you get a coverall is take your bingo card that you'll be given when you arrive to the various booths and finding it. There will be a booth that has B12 at it. You have to find B12. When you get a coverall done, you write your name on the back of it and you drop it in the drum that will be over by the bandstand. And at 3 o'clock, there will be a drawing for some prizes. I can't tell you how many yet. I haven't finished my mooching from the public yet, so we'll see. For baskets for it, for all of you who have been practicing tennis and bowling and all those other good things at home, we are raffling a Wii system, and in one basket, and in the second basket there will be as a $100 Visa card, I know, is one of the prizes in there, as well as a $30 Walmart gift card. It's all stuff that we have picked up from people who will have donated them for us to raffle to you. So you'll find all of that. It's kind of exciting. So that's all I can say about Fun Fest, except the clubs are working really hard. Every club room I've been in the last week, we're getting our Fun Fest stuff ready. So we're expecting a big crowd, and I hope you're all going to be there to help with it. Then my next project is the volunteers. Now, we logged in close to 400,000 hours of volunteer work last year. That, to me, is astounding. And it was done by more than 3,000 residents, which means it would average out to more than 100 hours per year per resident that did it. We know we didn't get all of them. Some people didn't turn them in, and for various reasons, or just didn't understand it was happening. But we are having a big project happen for them now. On the 25th of this month at the softball field, we would like everybody who volunteered and turned in their forms to show up for a picture. The picture is going to be kind of outstanding. The club presidents will have received a picture of people standing within the framework of like Volunteers 2008. And we'll take your picture from the bucket of the fire department, and you'll be able to look at it and say, oh, I was standing right there in that 8 or, wherever. So please, if you know any volunteers or you yourself, all the presidents and club things are all eligible, for this. So your clubs, keeping the clubs going for the people is an important thing. So if you will show up, we will take your picture, and that's it.
Thank you very much. Is there any unfinished business?
We finished all business last month.
Okay. Now we'll move into new business. The first motion we have is by Director Black. Let's see if I can find it here. Okay.
Mr. President, I move that the board approve granting a hardship waiver for 2009 dues for 2 members. Case number 1470, as recommended for hardship by the hardship panel. The total of $504 representing the waived dues will be taken from the hardship fund account number 36004.
Is there a second?
I second.
Director LeBlanc. Any discussion by board members? Neil?
I think that the use of the word waived is not a correct wording, because we're not waiving the dues, we are taking it from the hardship fund. And I think there's a misunderstanding on this. We are not waiving any dues. The monies are coming out of the hardship fund.
Okay. So can we make an administrative change to the motion to let's
To
see,
drop the word
waive? Any opposition by any of the board members to deleting that?
No, just word, we're working on word policy right now, the board policy right now to straighten the wordage.
Okay, good. Okay, any discussion by any board members? Anybody from the audience have anything? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Second motion by Director Shings on amendment to the hardship.
Mr. President, I move that the board amend policy 3.03, financial hardships as presented.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Director Black. Is there any discussion by board members? Mr. Shing?
Mr. President, these are pretty much housekeeping amendments to the existing section 3.03 on financial hardships. Brief summary, they make a few changes. The committee can ask for the last federal income tax returns on those applying for the hardship. The second thing is that the hardships need to be submitted by February the 15th in each year. The third thing is the amount of relief. This year we came pretty close to tapping out the fund completely, as I've been told by the treasurer. So we're adding a statement here that or a policy here that the amount of relief will be limited to a pro rata share in the hardship fund. In other words, if we have $1,000 in the hardship fund, which is made up of donations, it is not members' dues, and we have 5 individuals that are approved for the granting of relief, a waiver, then the amount of the dues that will be paid out of the hardship fund will be $200, and they'll still be responsible for $52 if my math is correct. The last items is members' dues may not be used for paying somebody else's dues. Those are, in summary, the changes that are being made to the hardship provisions.
Thank you very much. Any other discussion items? Anybody on the board? Any comments from the audience? Yes.
I'd just like to make one comment concerning your previous motion, because the treasurer has spoken here. The board is asking for a relief of a method of payment, not for a relief of dues. You've got to mention 2 times in the motion the word waiver. And that should be corrected.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay. All right, no more discussion on the second motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. The third motion involves the contract for some entertainment series. Mr. Alderman?
I move that the board approve 3 contracts with William Clare Entertainment to provide programs for the 2009 and 10 entertainment series as follows. Greg Borman Show to perform on Sunday, January 31st, 2020 at a cost of $6,000. A tribute to Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons to perform on Friday, January 22nd, 2010. Should correct that first one, 2010.
10, yeah.
That's a way out of here. At a cost of $7,000. Phil Dirt and the Dozers to perform Friday, February 12, 2010 at a cost of $6,000. This will be expensed from the operation account 41321 Entertainment.
Thank you. Any second?
Second.
Second by Director Shing, thank you. Any discussion on these contracts by the directors? Any comments? Comments from the audience? Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Fourth motion is with another entertainment series. Mr. Alderman?
I move that the board approve a contract with Jerry Cedar Productions in the amount of $6,500 for Johnny Thunder and Rocky and the Rollers to perform as part of the 2009 and 10 entertainment series on Friday, March 26, 2010. This will be expensed from the operation account 41-321 Entertainment.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion by the board members? Any comments from the audience? All right. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Fifth motion is by Director Long on the installation of a basketball hoop.
Mr. President, I move that the board approve the recommendations by TPO for the installation of a basketball hoop to be installed at the South Campus adjacent to the tennis practice area at a cost not to exceed $500. This will be expensed from operation account 60800.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
Second by Director Alderman. Discussion by board members?
Yeah, if I could, Mr. President, let me just say this is going to be on the next to the practice area, and they'll be using the practice area. But I wanted, since we have so many tennis folks here today, I want to make sure I explain that it's not going to displace anybody that wants to practice before their matches during the morning. We're going to see that the basketball play takes place, so it doesn't impact the tennis people. It would be done after your major operations in the morning are done with.
All right. Any comments from any other directors? Any comments from the audience? All right. All of those approve?
Aye.
Any against? Motion passes. The next motion involves fitness center equipment. Director Griffin?
Mr. President, I move that the board approve the replacement of 2 treadmills, 1 elliptical machine, 2 rowing machines at a cost not to exceed $15,500 for the equipment, and the recumbent bike estimated at $3,300. Funds for the treadmill and the elliptical machine and the rowing machines will be expensed from replacement reserve account number 76807-000-4. The recumbent bike will be paid in full by the fitness center committee.
All right. Thank you. And a second to the motion?
Second.
Second by Mr. Director Alderman. All right. Any discussion by board members on the replacement equipment? Any comments from the audience? All right. All those approve?
Aye.
Any against? Thank you. Motion passes. The next motion is the replacement of the exterior window with a door for the art club. Director Long.
Mr. President, I move that the board approve the recommendations by TPO to replace an exterior window with a door for the art club at a cost of $3,826. The art club will cover the entire cost of this project.
Second. Thank you. Is there any discussion by members of the board on this? Any comments from the audience? All those in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes. We're going to pause for 10 seconds right now or so while they change the tape in the video.